Well, when I made that video the other day about the top 10 transfers, mm, I was thinking that the transfer portal had pretty much settled down uh, for now until next spring, but I was wrong. Mm, mm, Someone entered the transfer portal, and it uh, mm, is Michigan now former head coach Jim Harbaugh. Mm, he's transferring to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers in the National Football League. Mm, mm, you know, mm, he's been doing this stuff for years now. Every January, where uh, he messes with the NFL and tries to leave Michigan. Uh, but mm, until now, he had never gotten a job offer to be able to dump them. Like now, right now, he's uh, gonna dump them after he just won a championship there. And mm, mm, he mm, was one of the best coaches, really. I would say the third best. Uh, Nick Saban, was the best, and then Kirby Smart second, and then uh, him third. Mm, and he's been an NFL coach before, mm, but he never won a Super Bowl uh, that there, and I think now that's what he's wanting to do. Uh, And I don't know this for sure, but I don't think that Jim Harbaugh has any plans of coaching college football ever again. Uh, he's 60 years old, and uh, he just signed a 5-year contract with the Chargers. So I think he's wanting to coach there for 5 to 10 years and win a Super Bowl during that time, then retire from coaching. So don't be surprised if you never see Jim Harbaugh coach college football again. Mm, And mm, uh, Harbaugh went uh, 89-25 as the head coach of Michigan. He was there for 9 seasons. And up until these past 3 seasons, mm, he had been a coach that uh, had kind of been a failure. His Michigan teams hadn't been bad, uh, but uh, they had done less than what they were supposed to with him coaching. Mm, And uh, uh, before the 2021 season, it was looking like it was going to be Harbaugh's last season at Michigan because it looked like he was going to be fired. But then mm, he surprisingly beat Ohio State by quite a bit and made the college football playoff, and uh, that was his first ever conference championship uh, at Michigan. And then the year after uh, that, mm, Michigan was expected to not win the conference again, and that they did it again. They blew out Ohio State and uh, mm, uh, went undefeated on their schedule and won the conference uh, easily, mm, and lost in the playoffs again. Mm, and then mm, this past season, they went undefeated. Mm, so mm, uh, uh, his last 3 seasons as the head coach there, Michigan was 40-3, a really good record. So uh, mm, they beat Ohio State 3 times in a row and won the conference 3 times in a row. So he's been one of the best coaches mm, these past 3 seasons, and uh, so mm, mm, first of all, Michigan during this past season was caught cheating, and mm, if you're some Michigan fan that's trying to pretend like your team didn't cheat, uh, mm, you should probably stop because they did get caught cheating. Uh, they got caught spying on other teams' practices that they were going to play against, uh, mm, so that way they knew the other team's plays uh, before the game happened. Mm, Now, I'm not saying that uh, Michigan wasn't the best team this past season uh, because they were, and I'm not saying they didn't win the championship and beat Alabama fairly because they did. Mm, But they have cheated in the past. They did it in 2022, and we're doing it mm, mm, some of 2023 until they got caught. And it, mm, uh, Harbaugh got suspended for a bunch of games this past season. I don't know if he really had anything to do with it or not. Uh, but mm, Michigan mm, mm, hasn't really been punished yet uh, in any way except for that. Mm, except now they're getting a, a big punishment with him leaving. Mm, mm, and mm, if you're some Michigan fan that's just like, well, we beat Alabama and we won the championship, and we beat Ohio State after uh, mm, we had got caught cheating, so that means that the cheating never helped us. Uh, that's nonsense. Uh, mm, just because you won those games, which those are really good wins, but just because you won them uh, mm, does not mean that in the past cheating didn't help the Michigan football team. Uh, mm, and mm, so mm, on who is Harbaugh's replacement, first of all, no, it's not Coach Prime. Uh, Alabama is too good of a program for him, and Michigan's not as good of a program as Alabama mm, is, but they're still too good for him. Uh, they uh, hired the assistant coach who had filled in for Harbaugh during those games where he was suspended this past season, uh, who is was an assistant coach on the offensive line, and the Michigan's offensive line uh, these past several seasons has been the best or one of the best in the country, and uh, you know, uh, uh, they did win the Ohio State game this past season with him uh, on the sidelines as head coach. Mm, so, mm, Mm. I actually think that this was the right hire for Michigan to do because uh, I know a program like Michigan, would rather have a proven head coach with a lot of head coaching experience as their head coach, which uh, the only experience this coach has as a head coach was those games that Harbaugh was suspended in. But because he was already on the staff, mm, I think that uh, mm, this will help Michigan keep players because the players will already be familiar with them. If they'd have brought in someone new that the players didn't know, they probably would have had a lot leave like it happened to Alabama. Mm, And they still have quite a few players coming back from last year's team, so uh, they still have a chance to have a good season uh, this year. Mm, Now, mm, I know he did well in the games as Michigan's head coach with Harbaugh suspended, but he hasn't actually fully been the head coach at any time, uh, and ever really for any team because Harbaugh was still allowed to do the practices during that time. Normally, he just wasn't allowed to coach the games. Mm, mm. So, mm, mm, mm. Uh, Michigan was not winning a national championship again this year, with or without Harbaugh, and Harbaugh knew that. Obviously. Mm, mm, and mm, uh, Michigan isn't going to be as good anyway. Bec- uh, Probably not even close to as good because of all the good players that they're losing. They won the championship last year because not just were they well coached and really talented, but they had such an old team. Mm, their whole team, pretty much, uh, of the starters were uh, fourth and fifth and third year players. Mm, and mm, mm, Also, mm, Michigan, even though they just won the championship, they're still just barely recruiting in the top 15. They're at 15th. And then the year before, they only recruited number 18. Mm, mm. So I do think that Harbaugh leaving is going to hurt them at least mm, some. And mm, it's really is too bad that he's leaving Michigan because Nick Saban already left mm, Alabama to retire, and now he's mm, leaving. So that's two of the best coaches that are leaving. And that Rose Bowl game, just a little over 3 weeks ago, was, in my opinion, the best playoff game ever. Mm, with how competitive it was, and now both coaches are gone. It's just mm, really too bad. And uh, uh, Michigan, uh, mm, I know mm, they beat Alabama this past season, uh, but mm, that was the first time uh, uh, since Saban's first year at Alabama that uh, Michigan could beat uh, Alabama. And I know they don't play very often, but if they had played every year, uh, the 15 years in between those 2 years, they would have been 0-15 against Alabama. Mm, like Arkansas and Mississippi State are, and Georgia would have been if they had to play them every year, because they couldn't beat them. And mm, Michigan mm, is just gonna not be as good now. I don't think. Mm, they, last year won their first championship in 26 years. And uh, if you like Michigan, you mm, better enjoy that championship win because it will probably be at least 26 years before Michigan wins another national championship. Mm, And mm, if you're uh, some Michigan fan, uh, don't give me in the comments, you're just a Michigan fan. Because uh, Michigan is only hated by uh, Ohio State University, Michigan State University, and their former head coach Jim Harbaugh. Mm, mm, uh, he's Michigan's biggest hater of all. He's been trying to leave them uh, uh, so badly. Mm, these past several years, uh, and as soon as he got a chance, he was uh, gone quickly. Mm, and mm, that will be about it with this video. And uh, mm, thanks for watching, and uh, please subscribe. And uh, Michigan is gonna need some good luck.